Westworld Mafia.
Howdy, Internet. Welcome to a review episode of Awkward Mafia Watches. I'm Jesse.
I'm Victoria.
And today we're going to be giving our thoughts and discuss the second season of HBO's Westworld.
Yes.
So, ordinarily, we would do 6 more reaction videos. But Warner Brothers has been a real pain in our side. And it's made it so that they take down all our videos, they put strikes on our website, or on our channel. So we can't put that up. But we didn't want to leave you guys hanging dry if you watched the first 4. So we're just going to do a whole season review. Now, spoilers for Westworld Season 2 from this point on. And also, I'm not going to call that by this name anymore. It's going to be in the title, and we said it like twice. But I'm going to call this show Cowboy Land, just so the Warner Brothers legal department can't do anything to us. There's not going to be any images, any sounds, any songs, anything from the actual show in this video.
Right.
So you can't take it down. Alrighty, first off, overall, without giving with any details, overall, how did you feel about the season?
I really liked it. I think it has a lot of angles, a lot of aspects, and has made me think a lot.
Yeah, so this is a interesting episode or season. First season was more set up, and it had a lot of big questions too.
Yeah.
Questions that weren't necessarily carried over this season.
Right.
To effect. In a way, it was like the biggest question I think in the first season was, are they actually alive?
Yes.
Or what the robots are.
Right.
Could that be considered alive? Do they have rights? What's the difference between artificial and real when it comes to consciousness?
Yes.
I think that was the biggest thing. And this season wasn't really about that.
Right.
Because they kind of... It's like what Ford said in the first season. They kind of just said it flat out in the last episode. Which is, there is no difference. Like, human intelligence isn't even... is just as artificial.
Yeah, yeah.
When they said when they finally cracked human code, it was less than what the robots had.
Yeah.
It was only like 2,000 something
right.
lines of
So
code.
scenarios are just limited, and people's reaction is predictable.
Yeah, and that the reason the human robots hybrids were failing was because they gave humans too much credit. They overestimated humanity.
Yes.
It was a lot simpler than they were thinking. So, real quick, which did you like more, first season or second season?
I like the second season. It's deeper.
Yeah.
The first season basically is telling us the AI is awakening. Right? You know, all the robots start to be aware, have senses, and wow, that's really revolutionary. Like, that's all that I've gotten from the entire season. But the second season just full of surprises. Just,
True.
Like, so much.
I'd say I like the first season more overall, but there are episodes and moments in the second season I like more than anything that was in the first season.
I see.
Yeah. Alright, so real quick, I took the liberty of writing up quick little summaries or quick little reviews for each episode. I'll run them right now. Episode 1, Journey into Night. So this season is Bernard's story. Episode 2, Reunion. Humans sure do love showing Dolores stuff. They do. Episode 3, Virtue e Fortuna. Samurais! Can't wait to see more next episode. Episode 4, The Riddle of the Sphinx. No samurais, just old men. There are a lot of old men in that episode.
Right.
Episode 5, Okane no Mai. I love Bizarro Samurai World. Should have called it Eastworld. Episode 6, Phase Space. It's the Matrix now? There's Maeve's baby mama.
Yeah, that's like a heartbroken to her.
Yeah. Episode 7, Les Echor y Coches. No, not Lawrence.
Ghost.
That's the thing I took most from the episodes that Lawrence died. Episode 8, Kiksuya.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Ghost Nation guy's story this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 9, Vanishing Point. Dude, you're an idiot. He's a huge idiot.
Yeah.
And episode 10, The Passenger. a lot of stuff just happened at different timelines. Yes. So, my general thoughts on the episodes. So, as you can probably tell, the highlights for me were Samurai World. Even though it was all flash, no real substance, I still enjoyed it.
Right.
It was just kind of fanboy and like, ooh, samurai stuff, but it's the same storylines. I love that. It didn't affect the story in any way, but I still had fun with it.
Right.
And I think the season needed that. It's just a little like, okay, this doesn't really mean anything, but it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
The Ghost Nation episode is probably one of the best episodes of this entire series.
Right. Also, a lot of questions I had from earlier.
Yes,
Yeah,
it answered a lot of questions.
Actually, it's kindness after all, and it's actually love about the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in the first season, Ford said that the only way to really develop consciousness is through suffering and experience. But the Ghost Nation guy kind of did it through love.
Yes.
Although he did walk into a very traumatic situation with Dolores killing all the other hosts and Arnold.
Yeah.
He kind of walked in on that and he saw the symbol and kind of sparked it in him. But his love is what kind of... He remembered his love, not his torture.
Right.
And that's what led him to, which I find is interesting. And possibly a plot hole? Like, it doesn't track with everything. Like, Dolores loved Teddy, she loved her dad, but that's not what made her remember stuff. It's being tortured is what made her remember stuff.
Right.
So then why did it work differently for this one guy? Yeah. It's a nice story, but it does kind of clash. It clashes a little.
Right.
And a lot of the twists in the last episode I think were great.
Yeah.
The reveal that the security guy was a robot the whole time. That was out of nowhere and totally pointless, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's the security person who let the top lady, what's her name again?
Oh, Dolores?
No.
But when she was in what's her face's body?
Right.
The corporate lady, Tessa Thompson.
Corporate.
I totally don't
It
remember her
just
name.
says the
Corporate lady,
corporate
yeah.
lady, right,
He let her
right.
go, even though he knew she was a robot.
So that guy's also a robot.
Yeah, he said Ford hired him himself, which doesn't make sense because Ford's not in charge of hiring personnel.
Yeah, it couldn't.
And he said he pretty much, without saying it, like heavily implied that Ford built him to protect the hosts in the park.
Yes.
Which is interesting. Especially if you kind of go back to first season, the way his attitude towards the robots and all that's kind of like, eh. But also makes you think, so he made the security guy. He made Bernard.
You're right.
Who else did he make?
Exactly,
That's still working at the park.
And then Dolores has taken over this corporate lady.
Are we gonna find out that Sylvester is a robot this whole time?
Who?
Sylvester, the redheaded guy that's with the Asian guy.
Yeah. Oh my.
Felix isn't. Like,
Felix is not.
No.
He is totally not.
no. But like, so that'd be weird if Sylvester turned out to be one. What else? Oh yeah, the revelation that they wanted immortality. That's what the point of Westworld was.
Yes. All the hosts. All the experiments they are doing on the
That was
hosts.
cool. And the big final thing, well, second to final thing, which is season 3 is going to be Bernard and Dolores in the real world, fighting each other.
Yeah. Right.
And also,
They need each other to survive.
in the future, the Man in Black is being tested for immortality.
Yeah.
I think that's like hundreds of years in the future.
Is he dead? He's not. Right?
By that point, he is, but no, he survived the season. They showed him in one of the medic tents,
Right.
getting his blown up hand fixed up.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so hard to kill. It's hard to believe.
Well, so that's the thing. I heard a lot of complaints. People are like, "How does he survive that? Going through all that?" When his daughter finds him, she has the thing that fixes people up.
Right.
She fixed him up. He was hurt, but he wasn't bleeding or anything anymore.
Yeah, she fixed
His hand definitely blew up, but they found him and they're fixing it. Like, he got health.
Yeah.
Like, he was healed, so it's not that crazy of a link.
But he killed his daughter, which is
that was
very annoying.
So you watched you not accidentally, but you watched the 10th episode before the 9th episode, right?
Yeah.
So did you know that she died when you watched the 10th episode?
No.
No, you didn't get that from there. Okay, so did that put the 10th way he was acting 10th episode into more focus. Him
Well,
dig into his arm, him
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
kill himself.
Yeah, he's totally.
Yeah, he lost it.
Yeah, everywhere pulled towards all directions and all neat.
Yeah, let's talk about the last 2 episodes. I feel like those are the ones with the most impact of the season.
Right.
That and probably the Kiksuya episode too.
Yes.
But we'll sprinkle that one in. But first, let's start with episode 9, which is all about the Man in Black and his family.
Right.
How, like, we've heard that his wife killed herself, and we heard that the daughter said it was his fault, and that the world doesn't know the kind of monster he really is.
Yeah.
And we kind of got to see that. Like, yeah, the world really has no idea what kind of man he really is.
Right.
And only his wife kind of got it. The thing I was always wondering is, how did he get away with what he did to Logan at Westworld?
I don't understand that either, because Logan's family is very powerful, and being the only son, I think he definitely has say on things, and his father, although underestimates him all the time and make him feel little, makes him feel nothing, but I think still, he has a sister, he has a dad, I mean, he's the boy. How come that he didn't reveal to people?
The wife said that he did tell her, and she didn't believe him.
Didn't believe Logan?
Yes, because she assumed he was just drugged out or drunk the whole time.
Yeah.
And got himself into trouble and blamed William. Because in her mind, William would never do that.
Yeah.
William's the nicest, sweetest man she's ever met.
Yeah.
And it was only until, like, recently of when she killed herself did she start to realize that he wasn't the man she thought he was. And they don't really say how she figures out, but a moment or two she sees the dark. Like, they never say specifically when she figured it out, but she saw a shade of it in him. And when we find out, like, well, the way they phrase the episode, the way the episode's going, it's like he thinks she's asleep.
Yeah.
And he tells her, because the whole episode, even in the past, he's rubbing his arm.
Right.
And he's saying he doesn't know when it happened, but he feels like a fleck of darkness infected him.
Yeah.
And it just spread. And from his tick, you can tell that he visualizes it as being in his arm, the fleck where it landed. Which is why he's digging that spot at the end, trying to get the darkness out of him because he killed his daughter.
Yeah.
But he tells her that she's right. He doesn't love her.
Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't tell her that he loves the daughter, but he says that he's loyal to them. Doesn't matter if he loves her or not. He's loyal. He would do anything for them because that's where his allegiance is.
Yeah.
And that he would never do anything to hurt a real person. That's why he goes to Westworld. So he's a psychopath who knows he's a psychopath and found an outlet.
Yeah.
But so telling that to her, and she find out, her eyes just open because she's not really asleep. And I'm thinking, really, you kill yourself because of that? But then she gets up and brings on the card and sees what he does.
Right.
And I go, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that now. It's one thing to know it; it's another thing to hear it, but to see it, especially from the perspective of the hosts and all that are recording him doing all that stuff, him murdering and raping human-like robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. She realized her life was a lie, that he's probably responsible for her brother dying, that she even said she blamed him for her father dying too, even though he really didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, I don't think that has things to do with
But he does kill a version of her father constantly.
So many.
Which is messed up.
12. Yeah.
Yeah. Over the decades, he just incinerates them. And before she killed herself, she hid that card in the music box. Their daughter thought was lost, but the mother was found. That's why she could never find it.
Right.
She found it, saw the man her father was relieved that it wasn't her fault that her mom killed herself, and put the blame on him. But now she regrets doing that because, you know what? We can't put it all on you because I found out and I didn't kill myself. Like, there was something else wrong with Mom. Like, that might have been a tipping point, but it wasn't the cause. She tried to rationalize.
Right.
Which is a very interesting dynamic. But, again, the Men in Black, I don't know. He put too much logic in the situation. Like, how could you have possibly have found me?
Yeah.
This park is huge.
Yeah, he keeps
Why are you even
thinking
here?
she
It doesn't make
is
any
the
sense. It doesn't make sense why you here, how you could find me, how you're trying to stop me. And he's just like, you're obviously not real. So he kills her, but she was real. And it's like, yeah, it's extremely improbable that she would find you and be there, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And he's just too narcissistic, too in his own
He
head.
thinks the whole game is for him.
And we never really got to see what his game was, really. Because he stopped. I mean, his game was he supposed to stop Dolores? Why would Ford set it up so he could stop her? What was the game Ford made for him? We never really, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either.
Because I think he did get stopped. I think he was supposed to go to the Valley Beyond with Dolores and Bernard. But I don't know what he wanted him to do. Did he want him to be an obstacle for Dolores and Bernard?
No. I mean, Dolores sort of realized that to get to where she wants to be, she has to ally with him.
Right.
At the end of episode 9.
Yes. But what did Ford have planned for the Man in Black once he got there?
Really
he never got to go in.
Yeah.
She blew him up before he could go in there. by like messing with his gun.
Right.
Which was very smart on her part. So yeah, that whole conflict happens. There's all kinds of time jumping, which was visually very interesting.
Yeah.
But also, it's probably my biggest fault with the season is what I call the unnecessary time jumping. Because in the first season, it is kind of like there's one other timeline, which is Dolores in the past with William, who grows up to be the Man in Black.
Right.
And you're not supposed to know until the big reveal, although they do make it very obvious that's what happened right before the reveal. But that's another thing. So this season, they let you know there's multiple timelines ahead of time.
Yeah.
But the multiple timelines don't reveal anything, or it's a fake mystery.
Right.
Because the characters know what they're talking about. You, the audience, don't know. Because of time jumping.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, they're separated. Oh, Teddy's dead. Oh, that guy's dead. And then they just show you how it happens. That's not a mystery. That's just not telling you stuff.
Yeah.
Storing you, and I'm sure it's cool on a rewatch, knowing everything that happens. I haven't rewatched everything yet.
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, that time jumping wouldn't bother us as much if there's a rewatch.
But yeah, there was no real purpose to it other than to make up new mysteries that aren't really mysteries, because the characters aren't finding out anything, the audience is.
Right.
That's my only fault with the season overall.
It's just storytelling.
Yeah, it was a weird framing device, and I hope if they do time jumping thing again next season, it's not like that. More like season 1, less like season 2.
Yeah, I think they have tried both ways. One to extreme, one very mildly, almost none. And I'm sure they're not gonna keep going crazier than this, because this is very crazy.
Now, speaking of time jump, so they do a little trick there where the Man in Black gets up, gets in the facility, and rides an elevator down. Now, if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you notice the elevator is not the same elevator that Bernard was riding in.
Oh, haha.
It's a little smaller and has a different logo on the back of it.
Ooh.
But then later in the episode, you see the Man in Black in a tent getting his hand fixed.
Right.
So he's alive and he's fine. But after the credits, the last episode, did you see the after credit scene?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see it?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, no.
Oh, so I'm missing out. All
you missed the thing. Okay.
It's fine. You can review
So after
everything.
the credits, it cuts back to the Man in Black in the elevator, still riding down. And you think, oh, well, so we're going to see how he winds up in that tent.
Yeah.
He lands, opens up, and it's a totally destroyed, destroyed by time.
Yeah.
Just everything's ancient and broken. And he walks out, and he's like confused, like, this isn't even the same building. This is this is back in the headquarters, but weirder. And his daughter walks out.
What?
And says, hello, William. We've been waiting for you. Please come this way. And he's like, ah, crap, I'm in a thing, aren't I? And she takes him to a room like the one.
What thing? You talking?
He said, oh, I'm in a thing, aren't I?
Oh, okay.
She takes him to the room where Delos was being tested. But it's a lot older. The walls have broken down and things are dusty and old.
Yeah.
They sit down, And he's basically like, so how long have you been testing me? Or what's this about or whatever? And she said, it's about fidelity. And basically you realize, okay, so a long time passed.
Yeah.
I think hundreds of years have passed. And
Wow.
they're testing William robot. And she says, you've been particularly tough nut to crack because of your unique personality traits.
Yeah, and we can
it's
see
taken
about that.
it's taken us a little longer to get you up and running.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, because that was him getting knocked out was probably the last moment he was wearing his hat and all that. That's the last bit of William recorded. So that's the moment that he's reliving after killing his daughter, getting knocked out, and going down into that lab over and over again for centuries.
Wow.
Which is, he didn't.
That's really cool of her.
He decided immortality was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has to be immortal and relive the worst moment of his life over and over again for all time.
Yeah.
And that's how the season ends.
Yeah.
So the creators have said they don't think they're going to do anything with that next season. They think that's more like a season 4 thing.
Wow. So much to look forward to.
Because, as revealed, they have the ability to make hosts of every guest who's ever been to Westworld. Yeah. Including the Man in Black. Mm-hmm. I guess they do it. Mm-hmm. Now, Dolores destroyed the Forge, so I don't know how they got the guest data.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Bernard deleted it to make room for the hosts. Mm-hmm. So maybe only the last people in the park could have hosts made of them. Mm-hmm. The last guest to leave. And he was one of the last ones to leave.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking. So there's only probably like a couple dozen, maybe 100 tops people still left. Even it was millions before, but now it's probably only like 100 or less.
Yeah.
And lucky Man in Black and lucky World, he gets to be one of them, probably. So if there is a time jump.
Hands full, yeah.
So next season we got set up. We got Dolores, Bernard, and 4 other unknown robots in the real world. Because she left with 5 eggs.
Yes.
And one of them was Bernard.
Right.
And one of them is in Tessa Thompson's body. Because they wanted to keep the actress. But she's someone else. I don't know who. So they're out in the real world, doing their thing. Trying to destroy humanity and save humanity.
Yeah.
There's also a virtual robot heaven.
Yeah.
That has Maeve's daughter living in it. And Teddy. And the Ghost Nation people.
Yes.
And then in Westworld, we still got the remaining staff.
Yeah.
And we got the remains of Maeve and her group.
Right.
Now in the custody of Felix and Sylvester.
Yes.
Who probably has the ability to bring them back.
Oh, I totally believe so.
So, my prediction for next season is that Maeve is going to be trying to find the Valley Beyond. Because Dolores just sent it out somewhere where no one can find it.
Right.
She's going to try to find it so she can go there and be with her daughter. Something might be going wrong maybe in the Valley Beyond, so we'll see maybe from their perspective too, or maybe not. And so we come back between the virtual world, Cowboy Land, and the real world. And maybe also the future, where Man in Black is. Or maybe not. We don't really know where they're going to go exactly with that.
Right.
But that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a really good setup, but definitely there are going to be more stories and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing season. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think there are so many twists that, like totally make sense to me, but I didn't anticipate or didn't predict any.
What would you say is your favorite episode?
I'd say either 9 or 10.
9 or 10?
Yeah.
I really liked episode 8, Kiksuya.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite episode. Although I really enjoyed the finale as well. Yeah, because it answered a lot of questions. Like I said, it did kind of create a little bit of a plot hole for me, but maybe they'll explain that next season.
Yeah.
But I loved his story. I loved they explained why some people have that in their scalp.
Yeah.
Didn't they explain why the Man in Black knew about it? I'm guessing he just scalped someone and found it and was like, what is this?
I think so. I think it's part of his cruelty to all the hosts. He killed people in all sorts of ways, and just like one thing that he was trying to find out the game.
And it's also cool that that guy went 9 years without dying.
Yeah.
So he had no updates. He was just like it was nuts.
Yeah. So.
And and of course, I think it was episode 4. The one with Delos.
Oh yeah.
Where the reveal that that immortality was the goal.
So many
that was a great one. The Black Mirror-esque storyline in that one, where it's just them trying to remake him over and over again. Yeah, in the different ways. So the way they describe putting themselves in robot bodies is one of the least connective ways. Like, a lot of people act like if you upload your brain to a computer, you can live forever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, you still die.
Right.
There's just a copy of you. And the way they describe how they make copies in the show is like, that is the most "that's not you" I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not him. They're just trying to get as close as possible and call it good enough.
Well, it's from other people's perspective.
Yeah, a lot of it's from...
So basically, you don't get to leave. You live in other people's memory type of deal.
They do scan your brain, but
it's
really it's not you in any way.
It's a copy of you.
Yeah.
And to other people, it gets as close to you as possible, but you as yourself, from your own perspective, your mind doesn't exist anymore. You're just done.
Yeah. So, overall, I'd say, how should we rate this?
Wow.
Like,
I rate it really high. It's super.
Like should we give it like a grade, like a letter grade, or like a score out of 10 or 100, or a certain number of stars or things from the show? Yeah, I don't know. We didn't do.
Yeah.
I give the season.
Let's do
season 2.
Yeah.
A percentage.
Yeah.
So like.
Or a star. Yeah.
Number of stars? How many stars? Out of how many?
Let's do 10 stars.
Out of 10? Okay. So, I give this show, season 2, again, I'm not going to say the name anymore. I give it...
Cowboy Land.
I give Cowboy Land, season 2, 8 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, I'd give 9 out of 10 stars. Yeah. It's one of the shows that I like the most.
Yes, it's a great show. I only wish they liked us as much as we like them.
You guys saw this and heard this, right?
Alright, thank you for watching. If you like this, there's a button you can hit. I think it's over here. If you want us to do more reviews like this, let us know. And what you would like us to review. Movies, TV shows, what have you. And thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.